Thank you very much. You may be seated. And thank you. And I do want to thank uh, Speaker Emeritus Pelosi for that fantastic introduction this evening. It's always nice to see the Speaker Emeritus, especially in her hometown. Uh, Good to have you with us here this evening. And again, thanks for that great introduction. You always hear me tell the story at the introduction of these remarks that I always liked flying with congressmen or congresswomen and members of the congressional delegation from the towns or states I'm visiting. And we had the opportunity to visit with the Speaker Emeritus this morning on the trip over from LA, and just a fantastic experience. Even though it's a very short flight, a little bit over an hour, it was awesome to sit down and talk and just talk about how she's doing now, and asking about Paul. And we pray for Paul every day. We That was such a brutal attack that took place, and Andre and I just pray every day for you guys, and we appreciate everything you guys have done for us here. You know, we're here tonight in the midst of a presidential campaign, and there's been a lot of talk, and I'll say there literally has been a lot of talk, but has it been talk about the issues? What I've heard is a bunch of name calling. My wife's in education. You all know that Andre's a teacher. And it sounds like some of the kids. I'm not saying anything bad about the kids, but that's what you do in grade school. A bunch of name calling, and that's what our candidates sound like. And there's been very little talk about the issues that face our country. And our country faces extreme issues. We have a world on fire. We have a country that's got so many issues that we need to talk about those. Let's quit throwing blame at one another, quit insulting one another, and let's talk about the issues. That's what you, the voter, and that's what me as a voter, expect our candidates to do. You know, and I am, it was pleasing to hear this morning, even though it is a competitor. I am pleased to hear that Marianne Williamson has rejoined the race. I think she actually is one of the ones who actually has stuck to the issues. She stuck to the issues in this whole race before, when she paused her campaign, and uh, she spoke about the issues and continued to do that, and I was grateful to see that actually happening. And not that I want more competitors in this thing, but it's good to see a candidate talk about the issues. As we gather here tonight to reflect on the trials and triumphs of the past 3 years, I stand before you not only as your leader, but as a fellow citizen, sharing a vision to renew the spirit of our great nation. We have faced unprecedented challenges, from the relentless grip of an unprecedented pandemic to the growing polarization. Yet, through it all, we have demonstrated a resilience that defines the American spirit. In the course of the past 3 years, our collective efforts have borne fruit, witnessing a remarkable reduction in employment from an alarming 15% to now an impressive just over 3% unemployment. And you think about it, at this time 4 years ago, we were at that 3% unemployment rate in our country. We were on the verge of a pandemic. COVID was on our shorelines. And literally overnight, millions of people lost their jobs. Lockdowns happened. The confidence in our economy got shook. Our economy was on the brink. It was on the brink of collapse. So, how do you solve this when you have an unknown pandemic going on, unknown strain of virus going on that you have no cure for, you have no vaccine for? So, what do? You have to shut the country down to protect the people, and that's what happened. And overnight, we went to 15% unemployment. But as the pandemic went on through the summer, through the fall, it began to wane a little bit, and then that happened. It began to wane, and the numbers steadily decreased, and people went back to work. But as I will explain in a little bit about unemployment, it wasn't fast enough, honestly. So tonight, I want to share with you our commitment to overhauling the unemployment system. No longer will it be susceptible to exploitation. Our new and enhanced unemployment system will mandate a minimum of 5 job interviews per week for benefits, ensuring that every able bodied American is presented with ample opportunities for gainful employment. Now, let me be clear about this evening. The term able bodied, I'm excluding our seniors and stay at home parents. Who I am addressing is those who, despite the end of the pandemic, have chosen unemployment and have not returned to the workforce. That status quo needs to change, and under my administration, it will. Why are we taking unemployment benefits? Why are we taking money from the government when we're fully capable of working in the workplace? I've been on unemployment, and to me, it wasn't a prideful thing. I was grateful it was there, but every Thursday when those unemployment numbers came out, and I saw what the unemployment rate was, I knew I was one of them, and I wanted to better myself, and I did what it took to get back on my feet. And that's what we need to do as a country. We need to do what it takes to get back on our feet. Unemployment is not meant to be permanent income. You know, and this enhanced unemployment program that I want to see passed through Congress is going to make you work for benefits. And I've been through many transitions and jobs throughout my life. One of them, my wife Andrea told me, you know what? Your new job is to find a new job. Well, my challenge tonight to every unemployed American is your new job is to find a new job. Think about this. The Bureau of Labor Statistics says there's 1.6 jobs available for every person. So in this room here tonight, in San Francisco, in California, in the United States, every person has 1.5 jobs available to them. Why aren't we working? Why aren't we working? I just can't figure that out. And there's a pride in getting that paycheck. Now I know that the methods of getting it have changed over time. It used to be you used to get that paycheck on Friday from your boss. Now it's a direct deposit, and you still get that excitement when you wake up in the morning. Direct deposit has posted. You got that paycheck, and you pay those bills. That's the pride of it. And it's not, like I said, I'm not shaming anybody for taking the benefits when you have to. Sometimes you're forced in those situations. You have to take it. But what I'm saying is this: why are we sitting at home, able to work, and still collecting unemployment benefits? Who's paying for that? The American taxpayer is paying for that. And with that money, we could do so much more for our country. There's so many things that we could do that I want to do as your president if we had the funds available. And one of them is infrastructure. This initiative is not merely about fixing things. It's a deliberate effort to strengthen and modernize critical elements, such as roads and bridges. Our commitment to improving infrastructure goes beyond immediate repairs. This initiative is a strategic and forward-looking endeavor, enhancing the very foundation of our nation. We recognize that our roads, bridges, and other essential structures form the backbone of our society, facilitating economic activities, connectivity, and the overall well-being of our citizens. This improvement plan involves a meticulous assessment of the current infrastructure conditions, identifying areas that require not only repairs, but comprehensive upgrades. We are focused on deploying advanced engineering solutions to ensure that our infrastructure not only meets existing standards, but anticipates and adapts to the evolving needs of our dynamic society. From the development of smarter transportation networks to incorporating innovative materials and construction methodologies, our aim is to create an infrastructure that is not only durable, but also efficient. We envision a future where our citizens experience smoother commutes, safer travels, and a robust infrastructure network that facilitates economic growth and societal progress. Central to this strategy is recognizing the profound impact on our communities. It's not just about construction, it's about creating opportunities. By investing in these improvements, we're stimulating local economies and generating jobs and breathing new life into neighborhoods, ensuring prosperity reaches every corner of our nation. We are bringing jobs into communities, jobs that everyone has access to by doing this. I know of several infrastructure projects in my community. There's a lake nearby, just completed overhauling the bridge. There's a major thoroughfare in my hometown. It's going to be going under a drastic change in the coming years, all due to infrastructure. A cornerstone of this initiative is our commitment to environmental stewardship. We are incorporating advanced technologies to make our infrastructure more eco-friendly, including investments in renewable energy projects such as solar and recognizing the need for collaboration. We emphasize bipartisanship and we call on Congress to unite and pass comprehensive legislation that not only addresses immediate needs, but sets the foundation for sustained long-term development. Understanding the unpredictability of the future, our plan prioritizes resilience, strengthening our infrastructure ensures a quicker recovery in times of crisis, and underscores our nation's ability to rebound from unforeseen challenges. Beyond immediate concerns, the plan charts a course for the future. Strategic investments are intended to position the United States as a global leader, not just economically, but also in terms of technological innovation. This initiative transcends political affiliations. It is a collective effort reflecting the enduring spirit of our nation. So, as we talk about this in the coming months, let us remember that this is an opportunity for our country to work together, irrespective of differences, for the collective betterment of all. And really, it is. It is time for Congress to stop yelling at one another, to stop arguing, and let's do the people's work. That's why Americans have elected congressmen and women to go to Washington, and it's to do the people's work. You know, we've been at this for almost 4 years. And I remember the day when we used to have a big, and actually it's due out. It was due out the first Monday in October. It used to be a big unveiling of the president's budget every year. And especially it comes around the State of the Union time when he talks about the priorities of the year, which I'll talk about next week, my priorities for my administration for this country. But we're not doing that. We're living from CR to CR to CR. We're kicking the can every 30 days. We're not sitting down having fruitful talks. We're not sitting down bridging the gap. We're just kicking the can further and further down the road. I want a budget on my desk, and I want to end to CRs. The American people deserve better than that. Shifting our focus to the exorbitant cost of prescription drugs. This issue transcends mere policy. It is a moral imperative. It is unjust for individuals to bear the burden of paying hundreds of dollars for medications while Big Pharma is over here reaping immense profits. They're bringing in millions of dollars of year in profits, maybe even billions. Why is that happening? And why is some of our citizens who don't make a six-figure salary paying $700 a prescription for something they need, not wanting, they're needing it? How fair is that? And we got to put an end to that. And under my administration, pharmaceutical drugs will come down. I think about there's an ad out on TV now. I'm not going to say what it's for, but it compares a drugstore price, which is enormous, and then the generic price, which is reasonable. Why can't every drug be that way? It doesn't cost $700 a prescription to fill to make this medicine. If you break it down, it's probably in the two digits. It's probably $20 a pill, probably, if you broke it down. But why are we charging hundreds of dollars for the prescription when the American people who need it can't afford it? Now let's turn our attention to the transformative potential of electric vehicles. I know this is important here in California. As we stand on the precipice of a significant shift towards EVs, we must acknowledge the importance of infrastructure readiness. That's what I talked about a little bit earlier. This transition involves a comprehensive overhaul from charging stations to power grids. Without rushing without proper preparation is like setting sail without a navigational map, risking challenges that could hinder the adaptation process and lead to unintended consequences. Our journey towards a sustainable future requires careful planning and strategic execution. Let us not be hasty in our pursuit, but rather deliberate in ensuring that our infrastructure is ready to support the electric revolution. By doing so, we pave the way for a smoother, more efficient transition that benefits not only us, but generations to come. And I'll make you this pledge here tonight. I've heard other candidates saying that 20 and 30 years from now, we're going to go completely EV. Mark my word tonight, we will make the transition to EV when the infrastructure in this country is ready and available, and not a day sooner. You have my word on that. Shifting our focus to the issue of the borders, let me affirm here tonight, the United States welcomes people. We always have, we always will. But it must occur through the proper channels, not through unauthorized crossings. We will reestablish border control to ensure order and security. And you think about the hundreds of thousands of people who cross our borders illegally. And I think about a good friend of mine. He's one of my pastors in my church there in Dallas. He came from Ghana. He didn't come to the United States via the Rio Grande River. He came to the United States via DFW Airport. He came the proper way and is on his way to citizenship in this country. Every person who does that, who comes to our country, needs, if they choose to, they need to pursue citizenship. And one of the key crises our country is facing because of this lack of border security is the fentanyl crisis unfolding in our nation. It demands urgent attention. This synthetic opioid, known for its formidable potency, has become a central figure in the ever-expanding narrative of the opioid epidemic. The crisis requires an approach from intensifying law enforcement efforts to dismantling illicit drug networks to enhancing addiction treatment, accessibility within our healthcare systems. Addressing the fentanyl crisis mandates collaboration across various sectors, from government agencies and healthcare professionals to community organizations, through a united and multifaceted approach. We can strive to stem the tide of this devastating epidemic, safeguarding our communities and fostering a healthier, more resilient society. And we really can. I know you've all heard the figure about what it takes, what little bit of fentanyl it takes to kill a person. There's enough fentanyl that's crossed our border here recently to kill every single person in this country. And it's affecting their youth. It's affecting people of all ages, and it's got to come to a stop. But the one way to slow it down is to have effective border security. And under my administration, you have my word on it, we will have effective border security. You always hear about day one, from day one. The Middle East has been marred by decades, if not centuries, of conflict. And the Israeli-Palestinian issue remains at the heart of this turmoil. I firmly believe that a just and equitable solution lies in the establishment of two independent states, Israel and Palestine. I keep calling it Palestine, but Palestine, living side by side in peace and security. Supporting a two-state solution does not mean taking sides. Rather, it's endorsement of a just and comprehensive resolution that accommodates the rights, security, and dignity of both Israelis and Palestinians. It's a call for dialogue, diplomacy, and a commitment to finding common ground for the betterment of all involved. And I know this has been going on since the beginning of time. And I know the two-state solution is not 100% the most popular solution there is available out there, but I think it's the best one. Both Palestine and the Israelis deserve the right to coexist, and I firmly believe in a two-state solution for this conflict. Now, on this next topic, I want you to understand what I'm going to talk about here, and I'm going to qualify this before I say the remarks. But deep down in my heart, I believe that taking a life is wrong. My religion tells me that. My heart and soul tell me that. But I believe in the sanctity of life, and I recognize the profound value of every individual. At the same time, I firmly believe in a woman's right to make choices about her own body and reproductive health. The issue of abortion rights is multifaceted, involving personal beliefs, ethical consideration, and legal frameworks. Supporting a woman's right to choose does not diminish the recognition of the inherent value of life. Rather, it acknowledges the complexities of individual circumstance and the autonomy that women deserve in making deeply personal decisions. As a society, we must strive to create an environment where women have access to comprehensive reproductive health care, education, and support. And I truly, like I said, I think it's wrong to take a person's life, be it any age, if it's during birth, during pregnancy, or later on in life. I believe it's wrong. But I also believe it's wrong to have the government step in the personal decisions between a doctor or a woman or anybody, American and their doctor. That's a discussion and decision between those two, not the United States government. And I firmly believe in that. Education reform stands as a pivotal cornerstone of our nation's restoration. Our classrooms should be sanctuaries of learning, not political battlegrounds. My education plan is called Back to Basics. It aims to support teachers, provide quality education, and prepare students for the future by depoliticizing the classroom. Restoring patriotism and reinforcing fundamentals like history and the ABCs is not just a campaign slogan, it is an imperative. I've been married to an educator for over 20 years, almost 30 years. And understanding the challenges that teachers face, increasing teacher pay, is crucial. Although it's a state-level matter, I aim to assist states in funding these raises, not seize control from them, but assist in funding. And before you say it's another Washington power grab, that's what Rogers is trying to do. No, I want to provide you the necessary funds so we can pay teachers a livable wage. That's what I want to do. Patriotism and fundamentals like history and ABCs is essential. Rejecting this divisive woke education, it has no place in his classroom. I recall a teacher who prioritized teaching government, instilling patriotism without pushing a political agenda. And he did. It's the reason why in my hometown in Texas, our second woman mayor, second black woman mayor, for that fact, it was a student of Mr. Hickey. It's the reason she got into politics. It's the reason I'm here tonight. He didn't talk about his party affiliation. He didn't talk about a political agenda. He taught us about how the bill becomes a law and how you have respectable debates in Congress and how you do things for the betterment of this country. And I believe we owe that to our students. Every day across this country, our parents drop off their most prized possessions at school, hoping that when they pick them back up in that car line in the afternoon, they're smarter than they were when they left their car that morning. Our teachers owe these students to teach them the ABCs, the 1, 2, 3s, the good, the bad, and the ugly of history, not anything else. Should we teach slavery? Absolutely. Should we teach about the bad things that happened in this country? Absolutely, we should. By doing those things, we teach these future generation the failures we made as a society so that they don't repeat them in the future. To not teach them these things sets us up, sets this country up for repeating these failures again. And this country does not need to go through that again. So, yes, we need to teach the painful things, but we need to teach the successful things we've done. Probably the most amazing thing we did in this country, and I'm sure there's been several amazing things we've done, but think about the moon landing, 1969. We sent a man to land on the moon, and we did it in 10 years because the country stood behind the project. Every single person in this country wanted to be part of that project. Why can't we do this today? Why can't we do it today? You know, the plan I unveiled tonight is not merely a policy agenda. It's the opening chapter in our journey to restore the greatness of the United States. And I really believe that we can do this. You know, there's a great artist back in Texas, a guy named Tom Lee. And Tom has this beautiful painting that hung in the Oval Office several years ago. It's called Near El Paso. And Tom and his wife, Sarah, write about living on the east side of the mountain. And Tom says, if we're living on the east side of the mountain, we're seeing the sunrise of the day ahead, not the sunset of the day that's past. My fellow Americans, I believe we live on the east side of the mountain in the United States. We do. And our best days are yet to come. May God bless you. May God bless our troops. And may God bless the United States of America. Thank you all very much, guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you.